I know when I was young, I don't know if you remember it, but when we were young, we were like one of those children that were like, they call it farming, is it? And you're farmed off to a different, to a host family. And so I went through that. But for me, the experience was quite positive. It wasn't a bad experience. But, so I spent a few years away from my parents, or come back every like summer holidays and things like that.
Yeah.
But for me, I've been actually there for my kids from the beginning to the end. I think it's really important that they get the perspective from both parents, and I feel like I'm there to encourage them to like succeed and to do well.
I think the farming aspect, the parents did it because they felt that they had to.
Yeah, it was a different world.
It's a different world back then, and obviously, for me, there was a positive impact with the foster parents, but there was also a negative impact with my own parents. If I'm brutally honest, it didn't help the relationship with my dad, but it gave me a different perspective being outside an African household where everything is very regimented to a completely different household, in the sense that my Uncle Ray was an ex-veteran from the army and my Auntie Joyce was his housewife. I think they were together for like forever, and they created a really good balance with some of the other foster children that were there. So my perspective is very different in comparison to, let's say, that of the rest of my family, and I think that's actually helped me in the way that I balance my daughter. So,
did you learn to be a father through watching your uncle?
My Uncle Ray, yes, I did, because there were times when I couldn't sleep at home with my parents, and African household is, what do you mean you can't sleep? Go to bed. You know what I mean? Whereas with the foster parents, I remember saying I can't sleep, and I remember sleeping in between them. You know what I mean? So the level of nurturing is different circumstances, I totally understand, but it kind of, as I grew up, made me kind of think outside the box, because here now I have my daughter telling me that she can't sleep because she's seeing faces on the window, and I'm like, right, I'm going to go and deal with those faces. So I've lied on the floor and I've gone, right, you go to sleep, I'm going to sit here and my daddy's going to deal with it. That's what happened. I actually woke up one time and my daughter has gone in the cupboard and pulled out a blanket and covered me and gone back to her bed. Do you understand? So I think all of those little things are important. For me, the farming aspect, it had its positives and its negatives, and I take the positives and I utilise that as a balance for my own daughter.
So the farming aspect, because I've never heard this before, the farming aspect is where you get sent either back home or to foster parents?
It's in the old days, because our parents were so focused on trying to work and make a life in the UK, so that they were able to work, they sent us to like foster homes.
Right.
So there was like Auntie Ray, we were in the same.
Yeah.
We were in the same.
Uncle Ray and Auntie Joyce.
But it was just, it happens to lots of people. But some people have negative experiences about it, and they've got lots of bad things to say. But I think for us, we were quite lucky. I think it just depends on.
So you got a lot of nurturing.
The foster friends. So, well, compared to home, things were just different.
Right.
As I said, Nigerian parents are very strict, and we've got to get stuff done, but
And were these foster parents from the system?
No, they're not like, it was just like
your family knew?
No, I think it's just like a private thing you agree between I'm not sure how my parents found them.
Okay, so it might be something that was happening back then.
Yeah, I think in the old days, back in those days when we were growing up, that was a common thing for parents from like African descent to come, and then they got their children, they put them with these foster parents so they can go out and work and earn money, things like that. I think that was what was happening back then, but I would never consider doing that from
It's different with us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's important that the parents are both if possible, that both parents are there because the children will learn different things from different parents.